Welcome to the Back 9 Six-Pack with Mitch and Justin. Let's roll.
Hello and welcome to episode 120 of the Back 9 Six-Pack. My name is Mitch, joined as always by my esteemed colleague Justin. As high as the energy was last week in our episode, I think it's equally as low this time around.
It's pretty low. It's pretty low today.
I'm at the point of, the newborn of just like, I'm just cooked. I'm done. I'm hitting the valley right now is where we're at.
That's not good.
No.
You got a long way to go.
I'm the energy vampire right now.
You kind of are. Although I was sad coming into this episode. I got the summer blues going on.
You've been talking about that for weeks.
It just hit me again not that long ago. It was like, God, it's like summer's over. I think it's because it's getting dark so early now.
Yeah.
Like we get to 8 o'clock and it's dark. And I think I just realized it's going to get much worse very quickly here very soon. And I'm just not ready for it. I'm not a winter guy. Although I'm not built for the summer, I'd much rather be like pouring sweat than freezing cold. Big guys are not built for the summer, but I would much rather be just torched hot than like layers and layers of clothes on and going outside. I can't stand that.
Yeah, I'm with you. We've documented this on the pod before, but like summer is my season. It's my favorite. But it feels like this year, I mean, it's still a little early for it, but we've had like a legitimate fall-esque type of weather here that we usually don't get.
It's not been bad. Like it's been what would you say? Probably like the last, call it 2 weeks, we've been like no higher than 80, but like not under 70.
Yeah, and like this morning, it was below 50 in the morning for the first time.
That's pushing it. I'm not gonna lie.
But I've been back on the running train, and I gotta say, man, this is like peak running weather. When you get those 50-degree mornings where it's like kind of like
you're not.
The sun's not really up yet, but the leaves are starting to turn colors. Like the vibes are pretty high. I'm not gonna lie. As good as it can be this time of year, I think it has been.
Yeah, I mean, look, it was nice. With Saturday, had a football game on. I don't know why we have this thing. My mom got it for me for Christmas. Our family for Christmas. It's legitimately, I think it's 10 feet by 10 feet inflatable TV. We've got a projector, but man, we put it out there on Saturday. Had like a blanket on, had a hoodie on, little fire going behind me, and just kind of watching football. I'll tell you what, it hit the spot. That did hit the spot. I don't hate that because it was like 55 out. It was perfect.
Yeah, once you get to the point, kind of like what you just said, when that's uncomfortable to do, that's when I start to get sad. Like once we get the first time,
you start getting stuck in the house. That's you just sit. It's like your house becomes like some kind of grave site. You know what I mean? Like you just
it's like it's your own prison.
Yeah, exactly.
So yeah, I think you're a little premature, but I understand. I might call you a visionary in 2 weeks, where I might tell you you're right. But for now, I'm just kind of living in this little pocket of goodness we have.
Yeah. Well, we haven't had fall in probably 5 years, so it is kind of nice to have a fall-esque couple weeks.
Yeah, I mean, I've got all kinds of pumpkin coffees lately. I got Kelly made me a pumpkin roll. Shout out to my sister-in-law. Like I'm full on like basic Mitch mode right now.
So that's a good point you brought up. So I switched to hot this morning, and I made a joke. I walk into this coffee shop. I've been here 100 times. It's like right down the street, and I got my oat milk latte. I did not go pumpkin. I'm like want to hold off like at least maybe till the end of this week, right? I'm not ready to accept that yet. And, she was like, iced or hot? I'm like, I feel like this is a good time to change, right? And she goes, been pretty chilly in the mornings. I'm like, okay, she agrees with it. All right, we're going hot. So I made the flip to hot. But, I think it's supposed to warm up a little bit this week. I'll probably be right. This is like the transition period. You kind of flip back and forth. So we'll see. I did flip the hot. The girl behind the counter agreed with me that it was probably outside of ice season, but that might change. The end of the week, I think we're supposed to be at like 83 with like lows in like the high 60s. So I'm like, okay, maybe we flip back to ice here at the end of the week.
Yeah, I'm again, something else we've documented on the pod before, but the coffee situation, I don't consider this a transition. I usually, when I make coffee at home, I'm usually making it hot just because it's like easier and whatever. However, if I'm buying coffee this time of year and I haven't made that transition yet, like it's usually been iced. So like I've not made my purchased coffee transition yet is what I'm trying to say. So you're a little bit ahead of me on that.
Well, I will tell you, iced coffee, I've been trying to be good and I have an espresso.
Yeah.
So I can make espresso here. And last week, no, it was probably like a week and a half ago, I'm making ice. I'm like, you know what? I'm going to use my jigger in glass to have iced coffee in. And I went to pour, so I've got like this glass that I put the espresso in, and I make it in there and then pour it into the, where the ice is. And I hit the edge of my jigger in glass, it's gone forever. And so I'm like, it's fine. I'll get online and look and see if I can buy one. You cannot buy one online. I called them and I said, I broke my pint glass. I was in there in May. I said, where can I get another one? They're like, you can fly back over here and buy one.
Hell yeah.
So I don't think there's any way to get one online. If someone can find it, I will pay triple what I paid. I think I paid £5 for it at the Jigger Inn. I'd pay maybe even 10 times to get another one. I'm very sad about that. And I blame coffee. And I was trying to be good and make my own coffee and all that, and it just backfired.
Yep. That's a good reminder that no good deed goes unpunished right there.
Exactly.
Which is a great time to say thank you all for listening. Please subscribe, rate, and review the show. Follow us on social media at Back9Sixpack. Another episode, look, like I said, I'm in the throes of it right now with the newborn stuff. No agenda again. We're just full on winging it. Talk a little bit of our golf. I think part of the reason you're sad is it sounds like something bad happened today.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
So tell me take us to match play. What went down?
So we had our 2-man match play match tonight. And shout out to Tim and Chad. They made it tough on us, right? Like we weren't helping ourselves, but they made it real tough on us. And so we get through 6. We're all square. Ryan's had a tough go of it. He notably he's on the verge of getting hard capped, which is like essentially the USGA. For those that don't know, the USGA says you cannot go up anymore this year. It doesn't matter if you shoot 100 the rest of the season. He is on the verge of getting hard capped. It might be happening after this round when he posts this round. Like it was ugly. He's not been hitting the ball well, but he's still been putting well. Punch greens, he didn't do any of that well. But we got through 6 holes all square, and it kind of unraveled on 7, 8, and 9. I had to give up a shot on 7, so I did birdie, but it was a net par, and they made birdie. And then 8 was like the absolute unraveling for us on the front 9. We both hit our balls, lost balls. He's getting a shot. Not a good situation. We ended up losing 8. End up losing 9. And I'm like, we make the turn 3 down. And I'm like, look, in our last match, we were down 2. We won 5 holes in a row. Ended up winning that match. Said it's not over, right? Like we can go on a run. I'm actually hitting the ball pretty good. So I'm like, look, if I can just get some things to go my way, a couple bounces, we'll be fine. Start out the back 9 hot. I birdied 10. I birdied 11. I almost made eagle on 11. So we're back to 1 down with 7 to play. We tie the third. We tie 12. 13. We should have won it. Yeah, they made a good putt. It is what it is. Like they got a good bounce. Guy hits it left, hits the tree, kicks out in the fairway. He ends up making net birdie. We make net birdie, have the hole. But it was like, that was like very deflating. It was like we were making this comeback. They get a really good break.
Yeah.
And then it's like they tie a hole. They probably, given, a normal break, probably would have lost the hole and we would have been all square. We lose the next hole. Like, I had to get back a shot. Ryan hits a shank, like cold shanks it directly. I mean, not hosel adjacent, absolutely hoseled. And I'm giving back a shot. So it's like, I chip it up there. I try to make it for par, par or birdie net par. And they end up putting 2 on the green within 20 feet. And it's like, as soon as I missed it, I'm like, you guys aren't both 3-putting, like pick it up. So now we're 2 down with 4 to play. Ryan's out of the hole again. Like, he hits his drive, tries to hit a shot over the trees, just to get it back into fairway, just sprays it right, like gone. So he's in his pocket. I got like 275. I had to hit an iron off the tee. I'm like, I got to keep this in play. Like, we can't have both of us in our pocket and go dormy going into a hole that, they get a shot on. So I hit a 2 iron off the tee. I got didn't hit it very well. I had 270 in the green. I flushed a 3-wood. I mean, just cut it around the corner. Get a bad break. Like, again, it was there's small things that just happened. Like, I hit just short of the green, just over the bunker, shoots over the back of the green.
Oh.
It's like, if it hits the green, it probably lands pretty soft, rolls up maybe to the back of the green. Pin was on the back. So I hit my flop shot. It hits short, stays on the fringe. I'm like, I can putt that. Well, we get up there. There's an indentation that I have to go over. I'm like, I can't putt this. There's who knows what that's going to do as soon as my ball rolls through it. So they end up making par. So I've got a chip shot from the fringe, chip it in. I'm like, center cut it. I'm like, all right, we're 1 down, 3 to play, right where we want them. I hit a ball down the left side, ends up getting lost. No clue. Couldn't find it, nowhere to be found. Ryan actually gets up. This was his best hole of the day. This is how bad it was. He almost tops it left. He's got 190 yards into a 360-yard hole. He hits his punch shot into the right bunker. We're like, hey, that's fine. Try to make par from there. Well, we get there, and he's on the back side downslope. And it's like, oh, my God. So their guy getting a shot hits it on the front of green. The front of green on 7 white never stays up there. It stays up there. And it's like, I want to see him chip it, right? That's a tough chip shot. If he's on the front of the green, he hits it up, 2-putt net birdie, right? Ryan actually gets this ball up and down from the backside of this bunker, down slope, barely had a swing. And he's a 30-yard bunker shot, too. The pin's all the way on the left side of the green.
God. I
don't know how this is his best hole of the day, if that means anything. Very low bar, but that was his best hole of the day. We end up winning the next hole. So we're 1 down, going into 18. We both hit good drives out there. Ryan hits his ball on the green. I kind of I hit the tree on the right and it dropped straight down. So I had to I had 75 yards, but I had to hit a pitch shot with a 50 degree. Hit it to 4 feet. No, it was 5. We'll call it 5. 5. They get up there. He's got a fifth. One of the guys got a 50-footer. He hits it up to 8 feet. He's still out. He drains it. I'm like, all right. I kind of figured in the back of my head, I was going to have to make this putt. Right? I was going into it, I'm like, he's going to 2-putt this. I have to make this. And just with aerated greens and short putt, I would prefer a 20-footer on aerated greens.
Yeah.
Over a 6-footer. Because one bad bounce on a 6-footer, there's no recovering from that, right? There's just not enough room. You hit a 20-footer and maybe it bounces back and forth and you might get a good bounce, right? My ball just comes off right. Didn't even hit the hole. Missed it 3 inches right. I was just I'm done. I'm done with golf. I texted you. I said, I'm retiring from all things golf. I'm this the epitome of this year has just been when I have something going. I had it 3 under on the back 9. It's bad break, can't find my ball down the left side, whatever. But it's it's just the stupid stuff. It's it just keeps happening in every round I play. And then I don't know what to do.
Yeah, that's about how I felt right after the Stampede. I remember just feeling that same depths of just like, it just felt like nothing could go right, no matter like how hard you were trying or I don't know. It was just felt like a difficult summer of golf for me, to be honest.
Yeah. Well, and it's like anytime I have something like I could have like 2 weeks ago, 4 under through like 13 holes, like got a pretty good round going. And like in the back of my head, I'm like, these rounds all year, 1-2 swings, boom, just like that. And it's like, now I'm even par. And that's what happened. I made like 2 bad swings, make 2 doubles, I'm even par. It's like all that. It's like every single round, there's like 2-3 bad swings, but they're not like, oh, I made bogey. It's like double, triple bad swings. Like it's hitting them out of bounds. Like it's just, I don't. It's been a colossal struggle this year. I keep telling myself something good's coming down the road, but we're kind of running out of runway here. Not a lot of at bats left for events. But I got to think something good's coming, but maybe it's not. I don't know.
I'm with you. I feel like I mentioned the valley of the newborn stage. Maybe we're in the valley of the golf season too, and we're about to be reborn like phoenixes, which would be good timing because that's a good transition to our Ryder Cup coming up in just what we're 3 weeks away under that now.
Yeah, your captain's down bad. So
yeah, well, that's what I see. This is exactly where I want you. I don't want you coming in peacocking. That's when things get bad. I need you feeling bad about yourself to really soar. Yeah, I texted you last week. I was like, you know what? Let me be your analytics guy. Let me be your Eduardo Molinari to Luke Donald. I have not fixed the spreadsheet yet, but to let people a little peek behind the curtain, we're trying to get analytical out here, all right?
Yeah.
We're not just out here willy-nilly putting these pairings together, going off vibes. We're really examining the team from a hardcore golf perspective all the way to the vibes that you carry out there on the course.
Yes.
And this is all for the good of the team. It's no judgment zone. It just is what it is, and we're going to put our best foot forward.
Yes. Yeah, we are. And I feel good about our team this year. We had the redraft, like what did I tell you, 7 guys. We got the people we wanted. We got you. We got our guy Aaron. We got the people we wanted. I'm kind of looking down the spreadsheet. There were some guys on their team that were playing pretty good last year that are not playing good this year. And there were some guys that were struggling last year on our team that I know for a fact, like just playing with them or, talking to them, like they're playing better this year. So I like our chances. We're drawing pairings. We need to figure the spreadsheet out. We're drawing pairings on Thursday. So, but I'm looking for, it's always a fun time. So my vice captain's one of our listeners, Jeff Stein. Shout out to Jeff. But yeah, I'm looking forward to it. We're 2 weeks out or 2.5 weeks out.
2.5. Yeah, I like the red squad on paper. I'm feeling good about our team, just like you said. The one thing I noticed about their team, the blue team, was like it feels like they got a lot of the guys that like just play the Elks well. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like they just got a lot of Elks on their team. That's the only thing that kind of worries me.
They really do.
But otherwise, like I said, I feel really good about the squad.
I do too. Yeah, it's a good time. 27 holes, just for people that don't know. 27 holes, one day. Best ball, alternate shot, singles. Got some really cool tee gifts this year. I'm really excited about it. Doing something a little different, but it's always fun to pick that stuff out and get the kind of behind the scenes. I've only got one more year after this and get to pass the baton on. Don't know who yet. We'll have to figure that out this year. Maybe announce it, at the end of this tournament, who's going to be taking over after next year. So
yeah, put the succession plan in place.
Yeah. Yep.
That's awesome. Yeah, I'm with you. Like kind of what you said before. Just not that many cracks left at competitive golf this season, and I'm really looking forward to this. This is my first time playing in the event, and just like something about just like match play and team golf. Just I don't know. It like stirs up a different thing in you.
It does.
And it's kind of just like, the swing thoughts go out the window, all that stuff goes out the window, and it's like, how do I get the ball in this hole for my team? Is kind of what it comes down to.
Correct. And an alternate shot is, that is the purest form of golf.
Oh. So good.
And I know my Scottish friends would agree with me. Alternate shot is the purest form of team golf out there. It's not even close.
Yeah. God. All right. Well, I guess I'll get on the spreadsheet. We'll get this figured out pretty quickly here. Got some macros and some macros and formulas that are just not firing for me. It's not good.
I'm not a spreadsheet guy. I'd help you figure it out.
Nah, I'll get it. I'll work with my buddy ChatGPT. We'll get it sorted. All right. Next up on the agenda, I know you had a couple pro golf / I guess amateur golf stuff to talk about. We can go from our Ryder Cup to the Walker Cup. I'm so sad I missed this. It was at Cypress Point this year. Just had to be an electric viewing experience. Just did not fit my TV watching windows. But what's your Walker Cup takeaways?
I mean, I don't think there's a better venue for it. They shouldn't have it at any other course ever again. I know they got to move it over there, but anytime it's on American soil, it should be at Cypress Point. I mean,
Sick.
That walk from 14, I think it's from 14 to 15. And I'll tell you, shout out to the Golf Channel. They did an awesome job of kind of and the people running the Walker Cup Twitter did an awesome job of documenting that. They had some drone footage from people. So you kind of walk along this cliff to get to the next tee box. And it is, man, the views on this coverage were phenomenal. Again, team golf there's something about it that's like just so good. Especially, it kind of got me warmed up for the Ryder Cup. You know, it's definitely a different format. For those that don't know, like they do singles twice. Like there's two sessions of singles where everybody plays on top of foursomes and things like that. So it's pretty cool. And for those that don't know, I swear to God, and maybe this is on me, I did not know that, you know, George Walker Bush, like his family, his mom's family, like was the one that this is named after. Did you know that?
I had no idea. And
they did an interview with George Bush, and he was like, yeah, he volunteered to buy the trophy, so like they just named it after him. Like that's like essentially the whole story. At least that's that way he made it seem, which I think is really cool. And he's out there every year, like every time. Like I think he was actually out at the old course when it was out at the old course 2 years ago. So it's and then, you know, you get the oldest guy on the team with the clinching putt, Stu Hagestad, the professional amateur golfer. There was a lot of good takes, you know. It was like Stu's getting the Sunday scaries. He's back to the cubicles tomorrow. For the record, for the people that don't know him, he doesn't actually work in a cubicle. Like I don't know if he actually works, but that's a whole nother conversation.
Yeah, I think he just gets his amateur career funded by somebody is essentially what happens.
I think so too. And what is he, like 36, 37, something like that?
Oh yeah, he's got to be.
Yeah.
He's been on these teams for so long, man. It's got to be such a weird vibe because it's like him and then a bunch of like college kids, basically.
A couple college kids that can't even drink yet, for the record. Like,
right.
I think Jackson Coyvin's like 20. So it's like a 17-year spread between him and Stu. So
yeah. Oh man.
And by the way, he's out there. He might at this point, after this Walker Cup, I actually don't even think it's close. He's probably the most decorated Walker Cup player in American history. He's a fresh 7-1 in singles. And I think he's been in the Walker Cup 3 or 4 times. So he's had he might be the most decorated. Because here's the thing. What happens is with the Walker Cup, like let's just say you make it as a sophomore or junior in college. You might only play in 1, right?
Yeah.
At most, you're only playing in 2. He's played in 3. So I think he's played in 3. So he definitely might be the most decorated. I don't even think it's probably remotely close. He probably is the most decorated Walker Cupper ever.
Yeah, I don't know how far it goes back to like amateur careers lasted longer and meant something more. You know,
yeah. I mean, look at Bobby. You know, Bobby Jones is a perfect example, right?
Yeah,
he never turned professional.
But if you would say the modern Walker Cup, for sure.
Yeah,
definitely.
Yep.
And then, all right, next up, you just text me Rory winning in Ireland with a vomiting emoji. Please explain.
Well, did you see his putt?
No, I didn't see any of it.
So he eagles 18 to get into a playoff. He ends up winning the playoff. But it was like, what makes me mad and vomiting is he's going to find something before this Ryder Cup. And he's going to find a way to win like 3 or 4 matches. And it's going to piss me off.
Yeah. I know. You just got to hope he doesn't play against like our best guy, you know?
Yeah, like
the problem you cannot have a Rory buzzsaw that takes out Scotty, because then we are just cooked. You know what I mean?
No, but like a Rory buzzsaw that, God love him, takes out a Ben Griffin, so be it.
Yeah, you can have a sacrificial lamb, but you can't have good on good go bad for you. You know what I mean?
Yeah. But you know, the funny thing is I think like at this point, and I truly believe this, like if Scotty's playing his best and Rory's playing his best, I still like Scotty. Man,
it's tough for me. Because it just feels like Rory's ceiling is like the highest on the planet, but Scotty is like his superpower is his consistency, right? So it's like it's probably very close.
Yeah,
but like I think
close,
Rory's driving is so much better than peak Scotty's driving. I think
I'd agree with that.
That I think that would be a huge difference. But then you can say the same thing about Scotty's iron play. You know, he's pin high to 6 feet all day, then it's not really going to matter.
Yeah,
so,
exactly. Yeah.
Yeah.
But I saw it and I'm like, this guy's over there winning, and it's just too close to the Ryder Cup for for me to feel comfortable with him winning a tournament.
Yeah, I get that. That makes more sense, though.
I'll tell you what, it was an electric scene, though, on 18 when he made that putt. It was like, I saw a bunch of different angles. Like, you had like this one angle where like Rory hits the putt, like in this like left of where he was standing, Rory was making the putt. Like, you had this like 10-year-old kid and his dad, and like he makes it and like they start hugging. I'm like, okay, that's kind of cool, just because it's like, you know, he's from there. It makes it, you know, kind of cool. And witnessing something like that, like I still remember like me and my dad watching Tiger Woods hole out on 11 at the Memorial, the first time my dad had ever been to the tournament. And like, I will remember that forever. Like,
yeah.
My dad goes, holy crap, like there's no roar like a Tiger roar. And I'm like, and you just witness it in person. Like it doesn't get much better than that. So from a dad's son standpoint, it was pretty cool to see that shot. Especially, you know, obviously a hero over there, or a legend. So that was kind of cool, but I just feel uncomfortable with him playing well right now. So maybe that's more the line I was kind of coming in on.
No, I totally get it. This is a good time to ask. So we got a fan mail question from our guy Tommy Turdendogs a couple weeks ago. And he says, which U.S. Ryder Cup team member has an Android phone and messes up the team group chat? Got to be Bryson, right? Feels like that's like the easy answer, right? Like that for sure has to be Bryson, because you know he's like, he can't go with the common trends, you know, the fads or whatever. He's got to be on his own shit. So he probably didn't have Droid. It's probably like some special, you know, R&D
3D printed.
Yeah, it's a 3D printed phone he made himself or something. You know?
And you know, the funny thing is like he was obviously the first one that came to my mind. But you know who else I could see having one? Like Patrick Cantlay.
Dude, I know. I'm looking.
Zero regards for anybody's messages. Like,
yeah, none at all. I'm looking at their pictures right now. It's like the full team, and just like looking at their faces, and I immediately was drawn to Cantlay. And then right beneath him is Russell Henley, and I feel like he could be a Droid guy, just like off of kind of like he's like an old soul kind of thing.
Yeah. Oh yeah. Like not changing.
Yeah. He just, you know, he got an Android when they first came out, and he's had it, you know, for the last 20 years or whatever.
Well, when I saw this question, I was like, when I looked at their pictures, because that's kind of how I was kind of basing it too. Bryson was the easy one. I thought Cantlay would be next. But I was like, you know, like Ben Griffin looks like he works in the Apple store.
He does.
He might look like work at Verizon. You know what I mean? Like come up like, you know, ready to check you out, get you a new iPhone. Like that's that Ben Griffin gives off like either he works at Verizon or the Apple store.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah, I'm looking it's funny looking at their pictures and thinking about this, because it's like Cantlay looks like he'd have an Android because he like, I don't know, he like somehow invested in some company. He's got like stock in it or whatever, and so he's got them for free, so that's why he uses it. Like I said, Henley just looks like he's just like your typical Android, like just, you know, just going to use that because it's like the more affordable option or whatever, you know. We already talked about Bryson. Same thing with Ben Griffin. I agree with you. He's got like that. He just has like retail store face,
Yeah.
like tech retail store face. Most of these rest of these guys, I could see it's probably iPhone.
Okay, who on the European team do you think has an Android?
I need to look up their team.
I think there's a clear cut, probably. Maybe not as clear cut as Bryson, but
let me see.
You want to know mine? I think it's Justin Rose.
Yeah. I don't know. He feels like cool dad vibes, So I think like
yeah,
maybe
I guess I could see that too. Yeah.
But definitely from like him being the oldest. Man, I'm just looking. Matt Fitzpatrick.
Yeah, that's it.
Yeah, he's like too into numbers and computer stuff. Like he's got to have the Android because somehow he thinks it's better.
And he knows like the functionality differences and stuff. Yeah.
That's a good one, I think. Yeah, I can't really. None of these other guys. Maybe Robert McIntyre. He seems like a simple man,
Yeah.
I could see him.
He got it because like the Android was cheaper than the iPhone. You know what I mean? Like,
yeah, it's pure functionality and like no bells and whistles kind of guy. It seems like the rest of them I feel like are probably iPhone guys.
Yeah, I agree. I thought Justin Rose initially, but I think you nailed it. Like the cool dad like vibes just would not allow him not to have an iPhone.
Yeah, that's my thought with him for sure. I could see Shane Lowry having an Android too.
Yeah.
Just like he just seems like the kind of guy that like doesn't care. He's like, why would I, buy this? Why would I spend twice as much for the iPhone?
Yeah, he doesn't want to cross over Windows with iOS. You know what I mean? Like he's
like, I already got an HP at home. Like I'm not, Yeah. That's good. Yeah, that was a good question. Thank you for that one, Tom. That was a good one. Any other golf stuff before we move on?
No, I don't think so. It's kind of a dead period right now.
It is. I think that, the Ryder Cup stuff, like European golf doesn't stop like American golf does. That's what always makes me nervous. And I think that's why they stink when they go overseas. It's one thing to like be rusty and play at home, but when you got to go travel, 6 hours or whatever on top of it, and I think that costs them every time.
Yep, I agree with you.
All right, you want to chat some football?
Yeah, big football weekend.
Yeah, good football weekend. Real quick update on our draft. I have 14 points and you have 10. I think I got 7 wins this week and you had 5.
Not great.
No, the problem I think you had, so the Bills and Ravens was head to head, me versus you. Horrible collapse. We can talk about that first, actually.
Might be the best Sunday night game ever. Possibly.
Quite possibly. I got to be honest with you. I felt after the second Henry touchdown, they went up by like 15 or whatever. I fell asleep, so I missed this epic Josh Allen comeback.
I was watching it, and it got to like, what was it, like 15 with 4.5 minutes ago or something like that. And the money line was like plus 500 something. And I was like, I'm not ballsy enough to do that. Got down to 8, and that's when I was like, okay, like I'm going to throw. I think it got down to like plus 260. I threw 15. I wish I had thrown $100 on it at this point, but I threw 15 on it. Ended up winning that, but it was a great game. I mean, it was unbelievable. Both teams kind of setting the tone early that I don't think that any surprise, probably the two best teams as of right now. Anything can happen once you get into playoffs, but they're going to be the two best teams most of the season, as I think everybody kind of felt like in the beginning of the season anyway.
Yeah, it was. I think Chris Collinsworth made a point during the game. He was like, "This is just good football."
Yeah,
I was like, you know what? This is very much a departure from the football I watched the rest of the day.
Well, I was going to say, and that's a good transition piece, because what I thought was those two teams were playing a different sport than the Bengals and the Browns.
Yeah.
100%. It felt like a very different sport from that game, the Bengals-Browns game to that game.
Yeah. We don't have to go too deep on it with the Bengals, but like, I think based on our group chat discourse, I'm coming away from it a little more negative than our buddies are. And I don't know if that's just I need to check myself and not be cynical, or if I'm maybe right about something.
So it's a two-edged sword here, right?
Yeah.
The bar is so low for the Bengals in the first 4 games that, like, a win is a win. I get that, right? I do. And look, it's hard to win in the NFL. It is. Like, you see it all the time. Like, that's why, like, survivor pools are hard, right? Like, you know, you think you have a shoe in, right? And then it's next thing you know, it's, you got a 4-10 team beating a, second seed in the playoff team, right?
Yeah,
it's hard to win in the NFL.
Next thing you know, you're sweating out the Titans against the Broncos in week 1.
Exactly. But I think the bar is so low, people are overlooking some major red flags in that game yesterday.
Yeah. That's kind of my thing is like, I don't mean to name names here, but like Ryan was like, and even Gunth to an extent, we're pretty excited about how the defense played. And I'm like, guys, this is a team that has a 5.5 win total. They're playing a 40-year-old quarterback that got benched last season. And they have like no legitimate offensive weapons, like very marginal offensive weaponry.
Yeah, their best offensive weapon might be a rookie tight end.
Yeah, them getting force feeding Fan in the ball yesterday blew my mind. I did not expect to see that coming.
He is good though.
Yeah, he's a dog.
Shout out the Bowling Green Falcons.
Yeah.
Bowling Green State Falcons. He was fantastic. But yeah, I think I kind of looking at their schedule. This has kind of been my take on it. You're going to get the week 5 and go, holy crap, they're a top 5-7 off defense, right? Like you're going to get the wool pulling over your eyes, and then the real schedule starts, and then you're probably going to start seeing the holes. But the only good thing that kind of leads to is it gives the offense some runway to kind of figure out what they're going to do, right? Like how they're going to go about things. So like they're going to win games like yesterday, right? In the first 3 or 4 games because their schedule's not very hard. They're not playing great offenses and things like that. The offense can get away with what I would call an absolute meltdown yesterday in the second half. It was not good. But
sorry to interrupt you.
You are going to get the wool pulled over your eyes though, because they're going to look like they're going to on paper going to be a top 7 defense in the first 3 weeks of the season.
Yeah, and so for one, that point about the offense, I think they had 7 total yards in the second half. They were like the only team of all time, or like that was like the fewest yards by a team in the second half that won a football game or something like that. So pretty obscure.
Yeah, it was negative 18 in the fourth quarter, correct?
Yeah, something like that. It was horrible. There's a lot. I guess I'm going to talk more about the Bengals than I meant to, but Joe after the game in his presser, and it's like I want to agree with this, but it's also tough. But he was like, last year we just didn't win that game.
Yeah, that's fair.
I'm like, you know what? Like, honestly, they had a lot of one-score, bad break kind of games last year, and I don't want to be a fan that thinks that way, but also, if you get a good break and you've got a kicker that misses an extra point in that 30-yarder and you get gifted a win, then just, like, take it, Like,
and close it out, right? Like,
yes.
Here's the thing. Last year, they would get a good break, right? Kicker would miss a field goal. Or, like, perfect example, right? Baltimore, Lamar fumbles the ball. You get a break. They didn't close it out. Yesterday, they closed it out. They got an interception at the end of the game and closed it out. So I would say he's correct. And, like, when they got a good break with a kicker missing a field goal, they didn't close it out last year. Or they got a good break. They just never closed it out. And they did yesterday with a pick at the end. So I'd agree with that. Last year, that team doesn't win that game.
Right. So, I mean, that's fine, and that's good. And, the first time they've won a week 1 game since the Super Bowl season, 4 or 5 years ago at this point. Like,
that's so crazy.
It's good that, I know, it's good that these things are happening, but, like, when you're watching it, just, like, very frustrating moments still. It still look like the same team, and they just got a result this time, which is the disappointing part. But, again, also to your point, too, about the defense and everything, like, maybe they don't get we don't get the wool pulled over our eyes. Like, maybe these first 5 weeks, they build something and they have confidence, right? Like we talked about that in our draft last week. I was like, you know what? I feel like if they actually can put together some weeks of playing well and just like it can snowball in a positive way, whereas last year just went in the negative way, right?
Yeah, I don't disagree with that either.
So I'm optimistic. I was going into the season. It wasn't what I wanted or expected for yesterday. It felt like having the guys play in the preseason, the way the offense looked in the preseason, like it felt like they were going to be full go, ready to like roll over the Browns. That didn't happen. So I don't know. This week against the Jags at home, I think will be pretty telling. Jags didn't do much to beat a sad Carolina team. Feels like one that, you should win at home. If you have these aspirations that you have. So, and look, a couple quick highlights, bright points. Most time that Joe Burrow's had, like average time to throw in a game, almost in his career. Like, I think I've read it was like he had the same amount of time twice in all the games last year, 2.9 seconds. So that's good news. Sounds like Reisner's played well at guard comparatively to our guards last year. He'd like put up like an 80-something PFF grade. We had our guards last year putting up 40s all season. Yeah. And then defensively, Shamar Stewart and Trey Henderson looked awesome and both played really well.
Yeah, I thought, Shamar didn't I don't think he got a sack, but he had a couple tip balls. Like, I think if you asked any defensive line coach, like tip balls are just as valuable as sacks, right? Like when it comes down to it. So, like, because you're not going to get to them every time, but if you can get your hands up and knock balls down, like, and Joe Flacco's not a small guy. So if they're knocking passes down from him, like they're going to be knocking passes down from a lot of guys. So I think that I did like that. I'm like, I felt like in years past, it was like, oh, they didn't get to the quarterback. It is what it is. Like,
yeah,
and so like to see that development felt like a step in the right direction, at least. But yeah, I agree. This week's a must, I think, not a must win, but it's like you should win this game. And it's going to be a disappointment if you don't, right? And fair or not, like when you're a good team and you have a franchise quarterback, like there's going to be games if you lose that you're supposed to win, like people are going to be very disappointed. But I don't think the Jags are very good. They're still trading people away. They just traded a Tank Bigsby to Philly. So, I think they might make a statement this weekend. Home offense always plays a little better at home.
Yeah,
Cleveland kind of has their number too. Like in years, like over the last 4 years defensively, maybe not last year, but like other than last year, they've kind of had their number.
Yeah, I mean, Myles Garrett is just he's like the best player in the league.
I think he is like we talked about it yesterday. He is definitely the best player in the league.
Yeah, and they have like a superior advantage to our superior disadvantage historically. Like the defensive line against our offensive line is not a matchup. So yeah, it makes sense.
And they probably have the at least one cover corner that it has the capability of covering either T or Jamar. So, it's kind of one of those things like they're strong in the places that the Bengals are not. And then like even the Bengals strength, which is wide receiver, they've got guys back there that can kind of hold their own and you don't have to like zone it up and like get picked apart essentially. So
yeah, for sure. Okay, well, that's my Bengals. We'll move on to my Packers. I'm going to claim this is my Packers. I drafted them in both of our. On a side note, we're doing a friendly competition with our guys, Aaron and Joe. We did the same draft you and I did, but between the four of us to take all 32 teams. I snagged the Packers from you in that one as well. So, impressive first week win hosting the Lions. How are you feeling? Are the highs too high?
It might be Super Bowl or bust at this point.
I
was telling you before we came on, you get the Bears and the Vikings, the other side of the division playing on Monday night and like watching these teams. And I'm like, if the Packers play even 80% of what they did yesterday, they're not losing a division game this year. I'd be shocked if they lost a division game. Clearly, the Vikings are not the same without Sam Darnold. I know that sounds kind of crazy to say, but I'd be shocked. We've got an outside chance. I feel a lot. I think I told you, I said, they're going to have to go through Philly to get to the Super Bowl. I feel a lot better about the road might be through Lambeau this year.
Yeah,
I feel really, really good about that.
I'm fully on board. I mean, I know it's only been 1 week, but like, It just felt like I think last year everybody was like a little too soon on the Jordan Love and the Packers. And
again, like what we said, like what you just said, right? That's a game that last year's Packers don't win, right? And they dominated this year. I think like what we said with the Bengals, right? I think yesterday's game was like last year's Packers just didn't have that, couple guys, or maybe Jordan Love was not mature enough to win that game. And man, they came out as soon as they had the 2-play drive I think it was at the near the end or middle of the second quarter. I was like, this game's over. And their defense, their only weakness is the secondary. If we're being honest, that's their weakness. Those guys, Amon-Ra is going to get his, right? Like he's going to get his 5 for 60, 6 for 70. Like he's going to get that, right?
Yeah.
If you can avoid him going for 8 for 150, that's what you have to avoid. And they pretty much shut him down, in the sense of shutting him down with a secondary that I think that's their vulnerability, for sure. But when you have a defensive line like theirs that, you're rushing for and you're getting there, or if you're not getting there, you're disrupting things. It makes defending in the back end a lot easier. So
100%. I think that's honestly what we saw. We talked about it last year with the Bengals. Was Trey was really good, but not having any legitimate pressure outside of that, you're asking guys to cover way too long, right? If you have you can win in the secondary by being good up front. You don't have to have 5 Darrelle Revises or whatever back there. You need a pass rush that can speed up the clock for the quarterback so they don't have to cover as long.
Yeah. And I think, I'm not a big Tony Romo guy, but he did put it the right way. I think it was midway through the third quarter, Tony's Jared Goff's never hurried. He never gets the sense of her. He's making passes, even when the Packers were not getting there, he felt rushed, right? And that comes with you get a couple pressures, and next thing you know, they're worried about, pressure, even if it's not there in the back of their head. There, there's a subliminal clock kind of ticking in their head. So they had an interception yesterday that was caused by Micah Parsons just getting a little bit of pressure, and he, rushed the throw and throws a pick, right? So yeah, I think I'm probably way too excited about what the season's going to hold at this point. Jordan Love hopefully stays healthy. He is a different quarterback healthy. The difference between last year when he was hurt the entire season and the year prior, the last 12 games of the year prior, huge difference. So now it's just staying healthy. They're going to drop a couple here and there. Obviously, they've got a tough schedule. They got the Eagles on the schedule. They've definitely got some games they could drop. But I wouldn't be surprised if it was a 14-3 and they're fighting for that home field advantage.
Yeah, no, I feel equally as good about your Packers. I think that's as good of a week one as you can have, is to go out there and dominate the team that just put up 15 wins in your division last year. To make a real statement. And you got getting the Parsons, he gets his first sack, he causes an intercept, immediate payoff of the trade.
Yeah. And I think he only played 20% of the snaps too. Obviously it takes some time to work someone in the defense, right? You can't just throw him out there every snap and go for it, right? And people were like, why is he not playing that much? He's been on the team for a week and a half. What's pump the brake. By the end of the season, he'll be playing probably what he played in Dallas, right? As soon as he kind of learns the schemes. But it was an immediate payoff, and I'm not going to lie. Seeing his sack, it was it was funny. Someone said, it was I saw it on Twitter, it was him when he came out of the scrum and chased Goff down. It looked like a lion in a National Geographic. The gazelle is dead. It's just a matter of him chasing him down. That's kind of what it felt like. And man, what a cool moment. And I think he said he was I just can't believe the Packers fans just adopted me the way they did. And I'm that. I think that's the one cool thing. If you're not a Packers fan or you're not from Green Bay, that you just don't understand. the fans, they might be the best fan base. Like, friendly. They're competitive, but they're friendly. But they're like know football and like appreciate good football. I think that's what's cool. And that's why I've like always, anytime I go see a Packers game like away, like, and you run into other Packers fans, you're like, they're just good fans.
Yeah, no, I can totally see that. Yeah, like they're steeped in history. They're kind of what you said, like, even if and it doesn't really often go bad for the Packers, they're usually a pretty stable franchise, partially probably because of those reasons. But they're not the kind of fans that like turn on the team, and there's not going to be fights happening in the stands that often.
Nope. No, and like I told you, we're going up to the Bengals game, and I was kind of asking my friend that lives up in Wisconsin. I'm like, hey, like, you know, my wife's going to have a Bengals jersey on. Like, is it going to be a problem? He's, dude, like any other stadium, he's like, I'd probably tell you, yeah. But like, he goes here, he's like, no. And it's funny, like, there's a bar. They have like 5 or 6 of them across the state. They actually put on shuttles for away fans to shuttle into Green Bay, because it's really hard to get you don't really stay in Green Bay, right? Like, it's kind of hard. It's expensive, you know, on game days to stay in Green Bay. So like, they know people stay kind of all over, and they have shuttles that leave from their bars that bring visiting fans. It makes it easier for visiting fans to come in and enjoy, you know, a game day. So what other team does that for teams that come in, right? I don't know of any really that do that. So
no, it's this is like, it's making me think about like a good comp. I think is like when they go over for the Open Championship, right? And it's like people talk about the fans, like they just appreciate like a proper shot, or like you know, there's like a certain way that they hold themselves at the Open, and that feels to me like what Packers fans are as well. Yeah,
and just if you want a good follow on Twitter, you can follow like the Lambeau Field Security Twitter, or like the Green Bay City Police Department. It is kind of cool to watch that, because, well, cool and funny, because like drunk, like it's never like, oh, a fight, right? It's like drunk guy puked in the causeway, you know, like, you know, we got a, you know, guy sleeping in the causeway or whatever. Like, it's never a fight, which I've always found interesting. Like, even Bears games, you're like, there's going to be a fight, and like there's never a fight. Like, there's, you know, never a fight called in. So yeah, I'm looking forward to the season. That definitely, my excitement went from like here to here after that win. So we'll see. I'm probably it's gonna get ruined at some point, but for right now, I'm riding on cloud 9.
Yeah, I think my excitement took a hit, but I need to accept, like, I just need to accept the wins this year. The wins were too hard to come by last year. I need to just accept the wins. Yep, that's what I got to 100%. Yeah, because they don't matter. I mean, they matter right now, but it does not necessarily matter how it looks until we get into, you know, the winter time and late season football. So.
Yeah, and you're playing some, you know, I'm kind of happy the Packers started out with division games. I think a division game is like one of the best ways to kind of measure where you're at, right? Because like, it's a team that knows you, they know what you want to do, and it's kind of going out and lining up, right? And like, you know, against a team that knows exactly what you want to do. And I think division games are a good measure. When is the Bengals' first division game?
They just play the Browns, man.
No, okay, not the Browns. The like I'm talking like Pittsburgh or Baltimore.
I think mid-October they've got a Thursday nighter against the Steelers.
Is it really that far away?
I think. Well, I mean, it's not as far as you think. It might be early October. You're gonna make me look this up now. I'm a bad fan. You know what? I go week by week, sir. You know, or one game at a time.
One game at a time.
Yeah. It's a minute. Yeah, they host. They don't have a division game until they host. Yeah, until they host the Steelers week after the Packers game. Wow. So they go to Lambeau, and then they play Thursday night. They host the Steelers. So
it's pretty backloaded with division games, essentially, like their schedule.
Yeah, which I hate. It's like, I
don't like that either.
Yeah, it's dumb. So you get the Steelers then, and then you don't play another division game again until November 16th. It's a full month.
Yeah,
it's at Pittsburgh, and then it goes. They get the Ravens on Thanksgiving night in Baltimore, because all we ever do is play Thursday night football in Baltimore. We can't ever play them not on Thursday night. And then we host the Ravens for a 1:00 game in December. And then last week of the season is the Browns. So it's like pretty back half heavy on division games.
Yeah.
But Is what it is. All right. Well, I think it's time. Go to the patio, right?
Think so too. And I'm going to go first.
All right.
So we're going back to Reddit. I think the am I an asshole? I think there's so much gold in that thread on Reddit.
Yeah.
I found one, and I think it's going to bring up a good. We've got a wedding coming up at the beginning of next month. You do too, I think. I think you're going. So it's going to bring up a good question. So here's the headline.
Vikings just took a 3-point lead, by the way.
I know, and I think it was Aaron Jones, which makes me very happy. I think I might have just won fantasy this week, so thank God.
Yeah.
So it says, "Am I the asshole for making our guests participate in our puppet-themed wedding?" Okay,
God.
I'm going to read a little bit. It's really long. I'm gonna kind of like paraphrase here.
Okay, that's
like
fine.
my fiance and I met in college. We were in our school's performing arts program. Met in a puppetry class. Didn't know that existed. That seems fake. But anyway, in the class, we designed our own puppets. Mine named Hat Boy, and my fiance's Daisy. She's better with names, clearly. Were what we initially used to talk to each other and flirt in class.
Oh my God.
We fell in love in a way, we considered Hat Boy and Daisy in love as well. Like they're two puppets. Years after graduating, we still use Hat Boy and Daisy both at our home and at our local but fairly prominent theater where we perform puppet shows with high-end Muppet-style puppets. So they turned it into a career somewhat, okay? Good for them. While planning our wedding, we realized we wanted Hat Boy and Daisy to be part of the ceremony. They've been a part of us since the beginning, and it just felt right. We also invited our entire troupe of puppeteers from the theater and got the idea that we should have our wedding completely officiated by puppets, and that our wedding parties would be made up of puppets and our closest puppeteer friends. We figure it'll make an incredible pictures. Here's where we aren't sure if we're the assholes or not. We're insisting that all of our guests also participate and use puppets. In lieu of gifts, we've asked everyone to purchase a high quality but not nearly the quality of professional puppets to use during our wedding. We took the guests' work out of it and directed them to several vendors, some who offer some really cool options. Everyone could realistically expect to spend $150 to $500 depending on what sort of details and whatnot they wanted. We also wanted everybody to wear their puppets during the entire wedding reception. All puppets we're suggesting can be mounted on and controlled with one hand. The puppets are meant to be guests at the wedding in the same way all the human guests are as well. Well, let's just say there are a lot of people not happy. Both of our parents, my wife's sister, family members on both sides have complained that this is completely unreasonable. They're concerned about how are they going to eat and drink. How are they going to dance? You don't need the hands to dance. This is like in quotations. You don't need the hands to dance. So I don't know where this complaint came from. We, of course, don't expect people to have their puppet on their hand while they're in the bathroom, but everywhere else we'd really like to insist on it. We also made sure all of our hors d'oeuvres and are all finger foods. There will be plenty of cocktail tables so people can put their drinks down. We even made sure that all the food for dinner itself is portioned so that they can be eaten in bite sizes just with a fork or without using a knife. So, Reddit, are we the assholes for making what we think is a silly but harmless and reasonable request for our one special day? So I think the question is, are they assholes? I think they are. But I think the other question is like, what is the line drawn in the sand for requests made that for a wedding you go to?
Yeah. God, dude, there's nothing less I would want to attend than that wedding. Like straight up.
There's no chance.
Absolutely not be going to that.
As soon as I saw that, it'd be an RSVP not coming. Like immediately.
So total agreement that they are definitely the asshole here. I think like themes are fine. I think for weddings,
No problem with themes. No problem.
And I think you could go as far to say like if you're doing like a specific style of wedding, and you like say you're doing like a 1920s thing, so you want people to dress up like it's the 20s. Sure, right? That kind of thing, I think, is where the line is for me.
Yeah, and I think most people, like, if they're going to a wedding, they might be like, especially if it's themed, maybe it's even not themed. Like, you know what? I've been wanting a new jacket. Like, I'm going to go buy a new jacket for this wedding. So, like, people already do that. So, like, if you do a theme and it's like, hey, it's 20s and you don't have anything 20s, you were probably going to buy something, maybe not a whole outfit, but you were going to buy something to kind of match the theme, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, I think, to me, it's one thing to ask the wedding party to spend money. It's a whole nother thing to ask all the guests to spend money.
Yeah, for sure. I think you're right too. Like saying that if they wanted to do the puppet thing and it was like for the wedding party and it was like part of the ceremony, whatever, I think that's their choice and that's their friends and they can do that.
100%.
But you turn it into a whole puppet wedding and the guests have to do it and the guests have to spend up to $500 on this. Like, I don't even know if that factors in, like, are these people traveling too? Like, do they have to pay for travel and all that stuff?
100%.
Like, all of these things, all these factors like that, I think is just far exceeds anything I'd ever be willing to do.
So, and correct me if I'm wrong, and I know I'm going to have to ask this to my wife when we get done here, but like the wedding itself, like outside the ceremony, like the reception and stuff like that, it's just as much for your guest as it is for you, right? Like you're kind of thanking them for coming, right? Like it's their reward for coming to your ceremony.
Yeah, it's kind of like, it's just like every other party, right? You're throwing a party, you're feeding and getting people drinks. They're, in theory, giving you some sort of gift or something, celebrating you.
Right.
And that's kind of the exchange you have, right? Like you're putting on a party so that other people, you know, buy you stuff and are there to celebrate your love or whatever.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, I think to me, the reception specifically, like if you, I don't think I would even go to the ceremony, but I'm just saying like, the reception's kind of like their reward for coming and seeing your special day. And to make them walk around with puppets is psychotic. Let's just call it what it is. That they are assholes for that. Like, it is your special day. Well, guess what? It's going to just be you and your friends because clearly, like, not everybody agrees with it. And you're making people do things that they're uncomfortable with, right? Yeah, I think my line's probably about the same as yours. Like, I'm cool with, like, going out and, like, hey, it's 20s theme. Like, I've got pants I can wear, but, like, it would be cool to have, like, this jacket for this or, you know, like, some kind of, like, accessory, like, you know, like suspenders or, you know, something. I think I would do that, right? Like, if someone's like, I want this theme, I would do that. Or if it was, like, God forbid, like, on a beach, right? And they're like, we want everybody to have Hawaiian shirts on. Like, I'd go out and buy a nice Hawaiian shirt, right? I think that's about where I draw the line. You start telling me to buy things that I'm never going to use again, that's where I draw the line.
To me, it's not even the, like, I mean, the buying part is tough, but, like, and this could just be my own personality, but, like, you're telling me I have to do small talk with people and have, like, a puppet persona that has to, like, be a guest at your wedding, too. Like, dog, I can barely exist on my own. Like,
that's where they kind of got me. I'm like, okay, like the puppet thing it's not my thing, right? But it is their thing. But then they were like, no, like we want your puppets to be as much as a guest at this wedding and you to play along with that as you are. Like that's a lot.
Yeah. Oh God. Yeah.
Yeah. That's a lot.
RSVP. No.
Yeah. Yeah. That is a me not coming to that wedding. If anybody requests that.
Yeah, for sure. That's
God, I love Reddit so much.
These are good. I recommend you keeping these coming. These are giving me new life every time. It's and it sometimes reminds you too of like just how different people live. You know, like that's just not a world that I'd ever be a part of.
And I've heard people say like, you know, things on Reddit are fake. Yeah, some of them might be.
Sure,
but like that's 100% real. Like I truly believe that. Like, there's just different people, right? Like, people are in different, like, the guy that made the Muppets probably was like that, right? Like, he was very into, like, so I get it. Like there's just so many different things out there. There's different people out there. So but Reddit is just full of those people, and I love it so much.
Yeah, that's a good one. All right, for me, shout out to my company, PFF. I got the company football tickets this weekend, Bengals tickets. So attending the home opener against the Jaguars. I am bringing my oldest son, Zach, for his second game ever. Dude's living the high life, gets to do the club seats for the second year in a row.
I tell you what, that's a good place to bring the kids. Like,
yes,
club seats 100%. Are a little subdued. You're not down in the ruckus, right? Like,
no,
you're not down there mucking it up with the tailgaters. Right?
No, and you got easy access to food and drinks and all that stuff, and bathrooms. Yeah, it makes it much easier as a parent, that's for sure. But my question is, because I don't think we've talked about this, what's your earliest memory of attending a sporting event?
Man, that's a good one. I'm trying to think. I'll tell you what, like the one that I remember, it's a bad story, but like I remember going to a Reds game. I remember 90, I think it was 95 or 96, the Packers came into town. So I do remember that. I remember going to that game. That's kind of when I became kind of a Packers fan. I want to say the other memory that I had was, so I was at a Reds game. This is like one of those things that happen. You know, like, did you see the girl that stole the baseball from the kid this week? Like, freaked out. Like, the smallest things turn into core memories. So we were at a Reds game. I vividly remember we were sitting right center field in the green seats, if you remember old Synergy Field.
Oh, yeah.
And I remember my mom used to get these tickets all the time from the owner of the company she worked for. And, you know, my whole family's there. Me, my brother, my dad, my mom. You know, obviously being like a 6-year-old kid you want a baseball, right? Like, I'd never caught a baseball at a game. It's like the ultimate thing, right? It is. It just is. And I remember Barry Larkin hitting an opposite field home run. I mean, this thing, Mitch, it's coming right at us. Like, you could tell from the bat, like, it's coming right at us. My mom is sitting to my left, and as soon as it gets closer, you're like, it's right at her, right? If I'm 14 years old, I'm hopping over and I'm snagging that thing. Like, I'm trying to catch it midair. I'm like 6. Not going to do that. I'm counting on my mom here to catch this baseball. She ducks, and it just slams right into this dude's nachos right behind us. And, like, I remember, and then he gets it, and I remember just bawling my eyes out to the point where my mom went to the souvenir store and, like, bought me a baseball. It wasn't the same. I still have that baseball, by the way. It was like one of those fake, like, stamp autograph baseballs.
Yeah, I have one of those too.
But, like, she went and, like, literally, like, 10 minutes after that, went and bought that baseball for me, thinking it was going to make up for, you know, my childhood hero's home run ball that she let go over her head into the guy behind us. That's like one of the first Reds memories I have too, like, in sports memories, period.
Yeah. That's an excellent memory, core memory too. I don't have any stories like that from mine, and I know that I went to Reds games before I went to what I'm about to talk about, but I don't remember anything specific from them. But I vividly remember going to a Bengals Steelers game at Riverfront Synergy. This had to be like 99, 2000, maybe something like that. And this was like Cordell Stewart, Achilles Smith, or maybe Jeff Blake. It was kind of like when they were going back and forth between those guys. And I just remember these dudes throwing absolute bombs all over the field. Bengals are awful in this era. Achilles Smith was a total bust. But like I can remember, we have a picture of, you know, the four. I think it was me, my mom, dad, and brother too. Like on one of like the crosswalk things or whatever with the river in the background and stuff. It's like such like a, you know, 90s picture.
Yeah. Yep.
But it's just harder for me to pinpoint them like I can that Bengals Steelers game.
Yeah. I like, if we're talking like football, I remember going to some games at Synergy, but like I remember the first game I saw at Paul Brown was against the Bears. Bengals just got shellacked. It was like 30-3 or 30-6. Like, it was just an absolute shellacking. We got mooned by a Bears fan on the way out of the, I think I was like, when did that stadium open? Like 2000. So I was 10 years old. Saw this grown man mooning us as we're exiting. But I also remember earlier that year they did an open house. Do you remember that? And you could like go down on the field. So I still have grass from the original Paul Brown field that I got from when we went to that open house. So I remember that. That was a cool like sports memory.
Yeah, that must have been I think it was 2003 when that and Great American both opened.
Yeah, I think so.
Sounds right.
Yeah, so I was like 12 or 13 when this dude mooned us. I do remember doing punt, kick, and pass at Synergy.
Wow,
I do remember doing that. So this is some like early. I was probably like 7 or 8 when that happened. So that was kind of cool.
I mean, I remember when we watched on TV when they detonated the place,
Yeah. Isn't that crazy?
Yeah.
I remember that too. It was I like the ashtray.
Man, that place
miss it, man. We need to bring it back.
It's so weird because, like, if I had to rank them, like, I think Great American Ballpark is, like, really good and probably underrated.
Well, it's such a good baseball stadium. It really is.
But I could listen to arguments that Riverfront is better than Paycor.
Oh,
I think I'd talk about it.
I wouldn't just listen. I would probably agree with that take.
I don't know what it is about, Paycor, Paul Brown, whatever you want to call it, but like it just is. It's always just felt like a big cinder block to me. It's never like had character to it.
It's a concrete jungle.
Yeah.
And I was actually just funny. I was talking to someone today. I'm like, it's going to be real awesome in like 15, 20 years when the Bengals come back to the city of Cincinnati. They're probably going to be off a fresh Joe Burrow retirement, and they're going to be asking the city for like $3 billion to build a new stadium. So that'll be fun when that comes around.
Yeah, oof. It's always
coming
something.
Off a 3-14 season. They're going to be asking the Bengals or the city of Cincinnati for multiple billions of dollars to build a new stadium.
Yeah, Zach Taylor will still be the coach somehow. Mike Brown will still be alive.
You just hope they have a Super Bowl at that point, right? I think,
you know what? I would accept it. You tell me right now that they get a Super Bowl in the next whatever that time frame is. Yes, sign me up.
Yep,
that's all I need. All right. Looks like the the Bears.
They're pulling away.
The Bears are bearsing right now.
They are. And Caleb Williams is kind of terrible.
I mean, they came out guns blazing that first half. I was like, holy shit. And
Ben
then
Johnson might be not great with Caleb Williams. He needs Jared Goff.
That's tough. You don't want to have to say that. I mean, I guess they're both first overall picks, so
Yeah.
It is what it is. All right, everybody. Thank you all for listening. Week 1 of the NFL in the books, almost in the books. Please subscribe, rate, and review the show. Follow us on social media at Back96Pack. We got a little bit of golf left. Good golf, fall weather. Don't be depressed like Justin. Go play some good fall golf. Hang on to every last strand of summer you can, because in about a month I'll be where Justin is too. So, but until next time, cheers.
See ya. Thank you for listening to another episode of the Back 9 Six-Pack. Be sure to follow us on Instagram and Twitter at Back 9 Six-Pack for all your content needs. We'll see you guys next week. Cheers.